So, welcome guys to the conference on sustainable innovation, combining management with sustainability here at ESCP Europe Berlin, right next to the Brandenburg Gate in the Allianz Forum. Welcome to you guys here, welcome to Facebook, YouTube, and yeah, Europe is in crisis. Europe is actually quite a bit in crisis, and the reason for this, or one of the reasons for this, are fear and concerns of many Europeans with regards to the refugee question. But if you look at the numbers more in detail, actually only 0.5% of the EU population currently are refugees. 0.5%, actually even less than that. And if you translate this 0.5% into this huge group here in the Allianz Forum, that would mean that we had to integrate into this crowd 1 or 2 refugees. 1 or 2 refugees. Doesn't seem like mission impossible to me, does it? But looking at the reactions and voting behaviors of thousands and millions of Europeans, it seems to be a pretty big deal. A similar percentage, a small, very small number of people have actually the privileged opportunity of getting a higher education than the one you're getting or benefiting from. Very small groups. So if you allow me the analogy with the refugees, being part of this group seems to be a pretty big deal. So now the question is, what are you going to do with this privilege? What is going to be your impact? And this impact, is it going for you to be hell or heaven in your afterlives? Well, for the sustainability master students, actually I think you have a pretty decent shot on heaven. The others, well, how can I break it to you? But the good news is that with this conference, ESCP Europe provides you with the unique opportunity to get a little bit closer to heaven. Although in order to enter heaven, I guess it takes a little bit more than just showing up here. And I'm not talking about you becoming the next Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, although obviously that would be fantastic and we would be very proud. Now, today here, I want to talk about the impacts you can have in your everyday lives. As you know, small things matter, and a lot of small things collectively can lead to a huge impact. And most certainly, you don't even know how much impact you can have, but you have an impact on the environment, on your families, on your friends, on your fellow students, on random strangers you're meeting up with or meeting every day in your lives. And research actually shows that even the most introverted of persons influence 10,000 people in an average lifetime. 10,000 people. And here we're not talking about guys like you, the future businessmen and women of the, well, successful future businessmen and women, successful entrepreneurs of the future. You all have the potential of being way beyond average role models. Most of you, many of you will be very successful managers. Some of you will be CEOs. You will develop your own ideas, create successful startups. Others will be very successful in a variety of different domains. But you all will, or better said, you all can have great impact. You all will take very important decisions in your professional lives. You will train and manage and lead teams and people. You will evaluate them, and you most certainly will serve as an example for a lot of people around you. And even the most, or the seemingly most simplest of gestures can have a huge impact. And when I was preparing for this introduction, I came across one example, so I only want to give you one example. But by simply replacing your beef once a week, if you do eat beef once a week, by simply replacing your beef by chicken or pork meat. So I'm not even talking about vegetables here. Just instead of beef, you eat once a week chicken or pork. This equals to a reduction of approximately 4% of your household electricity use. Huge, collectively. So, what's it going to be? What's going to be your legacy? What are you going to be remembered for? What is your impact? And obviously, I know that some, well, most of you probably think, what is he talking about? What is this nonsense he's talking about, to put it polite? But, and to be honest, when I was sitting in your chairs a couple of decades ago, yeah, it is 20 years ago. Well, when I was sitting in your chairs, I most certainly would have thought the same. But if there's only 1 or 2 persons in this huge crowd who feel a little bit inspired or are gonna think about what I just said or even change their behavior, 1 or 2 persons, you remember? 1 or 2 refugees to integrate in this group would mean a huge deal, big deal. So if there's 1 or 2 people here inspired, I would have had an impact today, and probably not such a small one. Enjoy the conference, get inspired, use your potential, and do have an impact.